Mike Manganillo is a co-founder of Zuul, an INSART company that creates custom middleware solutions designed specifically for complex financial products, including annuity and insurance contracts. Before starting Zuul, Mike gained a strong background in marketing, media, and financial services, and even co-founded a marketing agency.
Hello, FinTech leaders and builders. I'm Vasyl Soloshchuk from INSART, and this is our next episode of Guts, Grit, and the FinTech podcast. And this is the podcast for strong-minded entrepreneurs who are not afraid to take the risk to get the reward and build the better financial future. And let me introduce our next guest today. So, hello, Mike Manganillo from Zuul.
Hi, Vasyl. I'm excited to be here. Excited to see you again, and can't wait to tell our story.
Yeah, Mike, absolutely. So nice talking to you, and thank you for joining us. And let's start. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself? What's your background, and how did you come to become actually a founder?
Sure. My background actually starts mostly in advertising and marketing. So I lived up in New York in the early 2000s and really got into working in large advertising firms and understanding the ins and outs of building brands. I came down to Raleigh about 14 years ago for an advertising job and really started concentrating on within the startup space and especially within financial products. I joined Tradewinds, where I'm currently working, about 2 years ago as their VP of Sales and Marketing. There's where I met their CEO, Tim Whitney. Tim Whitney and I really shared an interest in starting a side business together that was technology focused because we believed the system within the data gathering system within the financial services was antiquated and somewhat broken, and honestly went through first person experience of how to get my information from a annuity carrier. So we've been working on trying to fix that system over the past 2 years and really trying to, really be a disruptor within the space because the technology is broken, antiquated, and nobody's doing anything about it. So that's how I kind of got into it. I was always very curious. One of the big things for me where I worked with coworkers was continuing to ask why, continuing to question what we're doing, question how to get better. And I think that's what really spurred me into, building Zuul with Tim, understanding why things are as they are and understanding what they could be.
So am I right that you have one company which is Tradewinds, and you now starting the product company, and you will serve the same segment of clients, and as I understand, so and what are these clients particularly?
Yeah, so Tradewinds is a RIA, so independent firm. Tim Whitney was a financial advisor at Wells Fargo prior. He was there for about 20 years and wanted to become independent, so he brought his team over about 2 years ago and started Tradewinds. I came on as heading up sales and marketing, doing a lot of digital marketing, and just understanding the customer experience, right? Understanding as a customer what's the best way to market to us and building out how to work with us on an ongoing basis, be it content, emails, videos, podcasts, and so forth. Just knowing Tim, understanding how curious he is and a visionary he is, one of the areas that we started working on was the data gathering when it came to complicated financial products like annuities and insurance. First-hand experience, I was not sold, but I had an annuity through another financial advisor. And Tim and team were trying to gather simple information on that annuity, information that's not available within their software programs today. That process took 2 days to get
All right.
information on my annuity. I had to be on the call to verify who I was, and it took a handful of call centers and third party to gather that information. So being in the digital age that we are, Tim and I really wanted to understand why is it that way? So that brought us down this data gathering path. I call it kind of like the crumbles of data to kind of see where it's broken in that process. But yes, Tim and I's full-time job is at Tradewinds, and this kind of just spurred out of the need of our clients to try to solve it.
So Okay, I see that this is actually a pattern on the market. So when you run the more like a consulting business, you serve a type of clients, and then you start a platform which would actually serve the type of consulting businesses like yourself. And my question here is: so how can you define what kind of problem you're trying to solve with Zuul now?
Yeah, the problem that is there are two behemoths in the space, right? DTCC and DST Vision, right? Their job is really the pipeline between the annuity companies and we call them the NPSs, so the managed platform portfolio software that the financial advisors, the RIAs use on a day-to-day basis to get the clients information. Majority of what they do is transferring, processing, taking fees as part of that data. And the annuities or any complicated financial product like annuities, a long-term insurance, data gets dropped or lost or it doesn't fully go through, right? So we kind of say we're trying to become the Google Fiber for this pipeline, right? So our thesis was maybe that information that is needed is not in the files that go from one end, the insurance company, to the other end. So we started digging around to understand what's in those files. We were wrong. The information is there, but for some reason isn't being distributed, injected correctly into the systems. So we started to understand why the systems don't inject it, because they're not built for deeper details like death benefits, data purchase, and stuff like that within their systems. They're built for stocks and bonds, simple information. So that's where we're trying to build this custom middleware that can inject that rich data, translate it into a singular format, and then inject it back into those platforms that we talked about.
So I have another question about the competition here, because I see that there are so many, like data-rich, data-driven solutions are emerging on the market right now. So and people trying to build a kind of aggregators, like data aggregators. So who would you define as your primary competitors on this market?
Yeah, like I mentioned, those are the two big ones. They've been around for a very long time. They are working off old technology, and honestly, Vasyl, it's the status quo, right? There aren't people shouting out there that this is a huge problem, but if you talk to the right people, they all know it's a problem. They know the solution that we're going to try to build will better them, will better their clients, but there's not enough people to make a difference about it, right? And we're also working in an industry, insurance, that's very difficult to really get into, especially when you're talking about data, right? Kind of similar to healthcare. So there's a lot of people
Mhm.
that understand it's an issue, but continue to go through the day to day, continue to pay the crazy fees just because nobody's produced anything that's better, right? So when we talk to these people and
Okay.
we show them what we're trying to produce is better, they're all on board. We just need to get to a point where we have a functional product that could show them how it works. And the three
Mhm.
major players, maybe I didn't discuss it before. So, it's the insurance agent, the insurance companies like Nationwide, Pacific Life. They really would love to be able to show their data in front of RIAs because honestly, they could potentially sell more products for them, right? Also, they don't want to continue to have development time, people dedicated to all the problems and questions that come from the advisors. They would love to
Mhm.
shut off their portal, love to hire all the people that they need to take these calls. So there is a value there, right? The value for the MPSs, so the platforms, they're servicing the RAs, right? So if they can have an
Mhm.
incremental value that will make the RA's life easier, save time, they're willing to do that, right? And at the end of the day, the major person we're trying to really serve is the RAs and their clients, right? Because a lot of strain of gathering that information goes back to their clients. Also, it enables them to build better, more updated financial plans for their clients, which in hopes will make them more money. So those are the two major players that we're working with today.
So on this stage of the company, it's very important to build the relations with the alpha clients and also with the partners. So what is your progress so far building, doing the customer discovery and building these initial relations and both with clients
Yep.
and with potential partners?
Yeah, we're in a good place. It's kind of the chicken or egg right now, right? So we've been working on this for about 2 years, and honestly, it's been great because our way-in has been through Tradewinds, a trusted RIA, and that's always been our kind of our moat and our competitive advantage is building something from an RIA for RIAs. So we've had really good interest in conversations with a couple of insurance companies. I'll say Pacific Life has been one of them, who are really deep in conversations with them. We're in some really good conversations with some of the broker dealers of the managed platform services to the point where we actually got a due diligence package that unfortunately we're not there yet. And a third party that I'll mention is interested are these OIDs. So they're outsourced insurance desks. They work kind of as a middleman between RIAs and insurance companies. So if an RIA has, let's just say, 100 annuities, and they can't they can't get on, they can't gather that information quick enough, they work directly with OIDs to get that information for them. So we've been in a lot of conversations with DPL, who we're actually talking to tomorrow, and Retire One in trying to figure out how we would work between them. But we're at a point now with what we're trying to build, and we're actually building with you and your team is we're building the infrastructure to prove it works, to make it a sellable demo. But the next step is the infrastructure for security and all is needed to pass those due diligence to allow us to get access to that information.
So, Mike, aside of the customer discovery and customer development, so what is your progress and traction, and where do you stand with Zuul as a company? So, who else is your team
Yeah.
mates in addition to your co-founder? Uh, can you tell us, please,
Yeah.
some words about
So
this?
Tim Winnie is my co-founder. We started together about 2 years ago. We were able to bring on board, two trusted advisors. One of them is our advisor CTO, and Tristan Springmeyer has a tremendous background in startups and technology. We also brought on a lead developer, Ben Goroshnik, who, man, these college kids are a lot smarter than I am nowadays. So he is a junior at UNC. He has a couple of startups under his belt. He understands the technology you're trying to build. So they've been with us from day one. But beyond that, we were actually working with a local investor, Charles Gaddy, who started and sold his company, a data company called Global Data Consortium a couple years ago, and has a company called 4LV that helps out local entrepreneurs. And as part of that, we also have an advisor board of 4 others that have all the background that we're looking for to help us, move us forward, give us connections, give us advice to really try to get out there.
Mike, what do you think is the biggest challenge for you as a founder, for you and for team? And what is your strategic plan, strategic next few next steps for the next half a year?
So I say a couple of challenges is we've never done this before, right? So it's starting from
Right.
zero. Where we started from zero to where we now, I think is incredible. And a lot of it is a team effort. I keep on saying it's not just Tim and I; it's the people behind us that are really pushing us forward. A challenge is the chicken or the egg. Do you build it, will they come, or do you need the money to build it to a place where we are? So it's really outreach to get funding behind a product that doesn't have revenue right now, right? So it's building the story and the dream and showing the scale of what we're trying to do. A lot of not problems, but like I mentioned before, insurance is tough. The insurance industry is, I think once we kind of get out there, we might be getting some angry people, right? We're really trying to be more transparent in this space. That transparency is not where a lot of insurance companies really want to show you. So that's another hurdle we might have to get up to. But where we are now is, we're building out our demo to make it a little more sellable. We need some fundraising to build out the infrastructure a little more. And I feel very confident of once we do have a product that we can show that works, we can get the phone calls because there's a lot of people that want to shine a light on this category that want to do good by their clients. And I believe that the product we're building will do all of that.
And how are you going to overcome this potential, objection from the insurance companies?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten to this part, and I keep on. I've said before, not on this podcast, is we built a good amount of people I call the Avengers. We're assembling a team that has the background, that want to do good, that will help us kind of break down those walls and have experience doing that, right? So in any opportunity that we have to have more conversations with people that we might not be educated on, we can grab one of our advisors who's done it before. Or if it becomes into contracts, we have somebody who understands contracts, or technology, we have a team behind it. So I think we have the right people that all share the right vision and mission to try to get us there.
All right. So, Mike, I think that you have done tremendous progress so far, and thank you for being with us today. And I wish you good luck with your next steps and with your journey as a founder.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you
So
for
I
being.
want to thank you and your team. You guys have been great partners with us. So excited to continue to work with you.
Cool. And for everybody who are watching us today, so I encourage you to take a look what is Zuul. So we will share all the information in the description for this video below. And thank you for being with us today. And it was me, Vasyl Soloshchuk from INSART, and Mike Manganillo from Zuul. And let's keep building fintech together. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Still watching us and have not subscribed yet? Let's fix this. Also, don't forget to like this video and take a look at the other episodes we have. See ya!